In this 15-minute video, I encourage teachers to consider activities in which learners are engaged applying language in natural contexts, learning a language rather than learning about one. Language lessons often start with presentation of a grammatical form, followed by structure manipulation. This can create a false context, a sense of language as being useful primarily in the classroom. The activity sets that follow include a brief introduction to or vision of a grammatical concept, then activation. Finally, after learners have engaged in interaction, analysis of form and reflective questions. Language learners need to be engaged, learning by doing as they interact. They are most successful when they have meaningful opportunities to practice and engage in real-world language, building on what they already know and using intuition to internalize forms. In the first part of this video, I use the present tense as a vehicle to help demonstrate a variety of activity types. Here are some ideas of activity characteristics and features. Perhaps you've already used many of them successfully. Take a few moments and consider activities you do and which skills are worked. Above all, activities you plan should provide meaningful contexts, be communicative, and be learner-centered. The teacher's role becomes that of facilitator, circulating among pairs or groups, supporting learners, highlighting and celebrating breakthroughs in exploration and application of language. Using pictures, audio, or video, teachers can illustrate in a lively manner what a form communicates without framing it in grammatical terms. For example, we can introduce the simple present as a tool that helps describe the way things are, facts, generalizations, and routines, like in these videos.
A day in the life of Dennis Cook. Dennis Cook lives at 23 Primrose Avenue. Dennis is 37 and he's married. His wife Tricia is 34. Dennis usually wakes up at 7 o'clock. Dennis usually wakes up at 7 o'clock. He gets up and goes to the bathroom. He gets up and goes to the bathroom.
He's an accountant.
He works with numbers.
He's an accountant.
He manages your money.
He's an accountant.
He plans your taxes.
An accountant.
That's his occupation.
His job. She's in business.
She's a vice president.
A vice president.
In a toy company.
She's in business.
She's the boss.
A vice president.
That's her occupation.
Her job. She's a sales clerk.
She sells clothing.
She's a sales clerk.
She works in a store.
Yeah, she's a sales clerk.
She designs clothing too.
A sales clerk.
That's her occupation.
Her job.
Let's transition from envisioning forms to initiate learner engagement to activation of skills. Well-planned activities inspire the usage of target language, but do not overtly force it. Learners induce, produce, and experience the language through interaction. This is activation, where learners collaborate, exchange information, and engage naturally in language needed for completion. An interview can offer a realistic, natural opportunity to exchange information. When we talk about activation, we look at when and where we can use language to communicate. Gap activities invite investigation and collaboration and a sense of real-worldness. It's said that necessity is the mother of invention. This is the impetus for gap activities. Activation can involve identifying and describing. Games are great motivators. Activation can involve information sharing in pairs or groups, talking or writing about familiar topics. Students enjoy and are good at talking about themselves and what they know. As mentioned earlier, grammatical form is best dealt with in post-lesson review and reflection. When an activity has been completed, anticipated forms should be easily identifiable. Learners and teachers can share examples from the lesson, reviewing and reflecting on language usage. Review activities may include listening to or reading a transcript of an activity, or even redoing one. Brief pattern-based activities, such as gap fill, unscramble, complete, sort, or match, can also lead to helpful reviews. While review offers opportunity to reinforce learners' ability to apply grammatical, lexical, and phonological forms, the post-lesson component should also offer an opportunity for learners to reflect. What value do you see in having learners respond to reflective questions like these after completing activities? In the first part of this video, I employed one particular grammatical form, the present tense, as a springboard to demonstrate the application of a variety of activity types. Now, we'll look at sample activities for several common grammatical forms. The present progressive can be approached with observations of what is happening in one's present surroundings, or in pictures or videos. Activation may include sharing a photo album, making live observations describing a scene, for example. The present progressive can also be used to describe things that are happening soon, like plans and schedules. This review exercise helps students internalize the difference between these two present tense aspects. He's a pilot. He flies planes. Now he's playing golf. This activity works the present progressive in the near future. As schedules fill up, there's a lot of target language use as learners explain why they are busy at certain times. I'm playing tennis, I'm going for a walk, etc. To activate the past tense, learners can share stories, sequence stories, interview people, exchange narratives, write journal entries, reconstruct videos, stories, or cartoons, or ask biographical questions. In a group change story, participants contribute one sentence each, but must include all the previously introduced sentences. To start, I'll prompt, "It was a sunny day." Learner 1 repeats and adds one. "It was a sunny day, John walked to school." Then the next learner has to say both of the previous sentences and add a new one, and so on. For a split video jigsaw, two groups each watch a different short movie scene, then pair off with someone from the other group and ask questions about what happened. Groups rejoin and collaborate to reconstruct the other group's story. In this info gap, the past tense is activated in question forms. A sees Diana was born in blank, Venezuela, and needs to know where. B has that information. Then B, who needs to know Diana's occupation, asks what her job is, and so forth. As a follow-up, I've noticed that learners enjoy creating their own jigsaw biographies to show off famous people from their countries. In a jigsaw activity, participants have different information and need information from other participants to complete the task. A storytelling activity can be introduced with a line walking demonstration, stepping forward when I use simple past tense, and stepping sideways when I use past continuous or other descriptive phrasing. Sarah had lunch at 3 o'clock, step forward. She walked to the bank, step forward. The sun was shining, step sideways. It was hot, step sideways, etc. A lot can be done with pictures of something happening, followed by something that happened, to clarify the difference between these two tenses and show how they can be used together. Imperatives are one of the most common and basic structures. There are many activities that can activate this sentence type, primarily around giving directions or instructions and giving advice. Negative imperatives can also be worked into all these activity types. In the first stage of this activity, learners grasp that their instructions need to start with verbs. Next, making maps and then leading their classmates through them activate the imperative pattern. Grammatical structures are frequently presented in declarative sentences, neglecting interrogatives. The next slide will demonstrate an information gap activity working investigating strategies, including questioning. This is another activity where teams each have a part of the story and investigate to try and reconstruct it. Working on form after activities have been completed may involve review of target language through graphics, exercises, summaries, or recollections. But most of all, observations highlighting and expanding on examples of successful learner usage. Activating the present perfect offers an opportunity to highlight the contrast between this tense and the simple past. Activities could unroll open time frame adverbs and phrases such as until now, in my life, this week, this month, this year, in contrast to the clearly finished times of the past tense. This activity involves a scenario where partners can activate the present perfect by asking and talking about experiences and achievements, things they have done in their lives. Activating the passive voice can involve the past, present, or future. The first activity here engages learners in usage of the present tense passive voice, explaining how something is done. The second one offers an opportunity to use past tense passive with reports on what was done. Learners of English frequently confuse active and passive adjectives. This review exercise highlights the contrast between them. Modals power a huge amount of everyday communication. They're essential because of all the nuances they let speakers express, such as ability, permission, obligation, necessity, possibility, certainty, advice, requests, and more. An activity designed around predicting or speculating, for example, could support learner activation of modals like may, might, could, should, will, and their negative forms. Comparatives and superlatives are valuable in everyday descriptions, helping learners express opinions and choices. In this activity, learner pairs compare cars, then join groups to choose the best one, activating comparatives, then superlatives. While the previous activity anticipated the usage of comparisons and superlatives, the review could highlight the understanding that short adjectives take ER and longer ones use more. Through activities like those presented in this video, learners can be engaged in a wide range of cognitive and communicative skills as they work towards meaningful outcomes. They express themselves through purposeful communication, creating an integrated environment where language use emerges naturally. Engaging language learners in activities and then analyzing form works. After communicative interaction activities, my students and I have spent many a review and reflection, listening to audio, reading transcripts, redoing stages, sincerely reflecting on what people said or could have said. We find the post-activity stage brings everything together. I hope the examples of activity types and cognitive and communicative skills detailed in this video have been very helpful. Thank you so much for viewing, and best wishes.